Hey humanity, how are you doing? Hopefully well. I'm just out here looking for stars and moon. There's one somewhere. There it is, way up there. Anyway, I'll keep walking, going to this little shady spot so nobody's gonna see me. Figured it'd be better to let you see me first. Okay, so anybody who's watched those last couple videos, I hope you liked them. I hope you found a glimmer of uh, the bliss or the peace and serenity and tranquility when you reach that still point of nothingness, and yet you still exist. So while you're there in the nothingness, just hang out. Like a nothingness hot tub, warm, bubbling nothingness surrounding you like a little cocoon. That's slipping into part of the dream time that we go to at night when the body's healing. So it's really kind of healthy. But anyway, at that still point, there's a couple things going on there. There's you, and if you keep your ego out of it, there's your mind. If your ego jumps in, then your mind gets trapped in the brain. So you're better off just leaving the ego asleep. But there's you, yourself, your authentic you. And then there's God, the true source. It's in that nothingness. It's in every hydrogen particle and there beyond. But anyway, while you're there, you can ask questions. And your ego will try to play the game and jump in. Since you're not letting it play as you, it'll try and jump in as the voice of God or source. But it's obvious because it doesn't know how to do it right? Why? Because the ego is a program. It has an agenda, keep you alive. Well, you're a source, so you don't have to worry about staying alive. So, sorry, ego just got fired. But then, you pick it back up, dust it off, and say, don't worry, I got a better job for you. Just hang out for a sec. Don't worry, you're still on the payroll. You're not here to kill the ego. You're just here to promote it. But in the meantime, it's going to feel like a demotion to the ego. So it needs some reassurance from you that it's not going to be thwarted. And just don't tell it it's never getting the driver's seat again, and you're all good. Okay, so we're at this point, this culmination, grand solar event, celestial homecoming, blah blah blah, lots of different things it's been called. But one of the things that's showing up here is this collective consciousness, this clearing. I think apocalypse is what the word is when it gets biblical. So apocalypse itself would be the revealing of that which has been hidden. It doesn't mean the killing of all people on the planet, right? The end of time or the end of times doesn't mean everything stops, you don't exist. It means you evolve beyond the illusion of time the way we've been playing that game, and it will change. Why? Because you're gods. You're consciousness. We are all source. So we're just, some of us figured out how to do parts of this better than others because those others were working on ways to do other parts better than us. We all have a part to play. So basically what I'm getting at is when this big thing comes down and the truths are all revealed, there's going to be a whole lot of people that are not going to be able to handle it. But all of you deep divers, all of you lucid dreamers, all you cosmic swimmers, everybody who's been working on your soul work and your shadow work and digging in rabbit holes and trying to figure out, what's the bigger picture going on, you guys are going to be, and gals, you'll be fine, You're already at this frequency. If you even get me or even hearing me, you're already in the home stretch. You've already experienced all this before. You just, on an individual basis, faced your dark night of the soul. Probably more than once. It's how we become ascending masters, as we get really good at this, hitting rock bottom and walking back up. Because we know that it's what's in our thinking that controls what shows up. We're not limited to a single script forever. But when this all comes down, the one thing we've got to have to hold strength for everybody is love. And and everybody's in their heads about it and thinking, oh, I'm fine, I already love everybody, I don't judge everybody. And they're going to have to pull out a big ass freaking can of forgiveness, maybe even a keg or two of forgiveness. And I'm not talking beer just to get drunk and forget. I'm talking forgiveness. Because the sins that some have been committing are truly treacherous and foul and crimes against humanity kind of thing. And when that comes out and they show you $200,000 or a couple 100,000 closed indictments, and they open them up and say, here you go, this is what's been going on, and it's done, it's over with. And this ain't just one country's people. This is the whole planet is in lockdown for a reason, because the whole planet is getting a cleanup job before the culminating event. So, as the news comes out and it's shocking, remember to hold that higher frequency of God's got this. It's already been planned. This is the cleanup of all the mess that devilish demon mind, demonic thinking has produced, right? Forgive them, they don't know what they do, because they've been programmed by the people that programmed them, who were programmed by the people that programmed them, by the people that, etc., etc. And we can go back a couple thousand years, probably go back 10 or 12,000 years. Some would say even more. Anyway, I'm not here to fear porn you, so I'm not going to tell you what they're going to be revealing, but I will tell you, if you haven't got yourself right with God, of your understanding, then it's gonna just get crazier when everybody finally comes out of their little boxes, right? We've got 7.5, 8 billion little Schrodinger cats locked up in their box. It's going to be a lot of feistiness going on when everybody gets released. But it'll be a better world. It'll be a better place. Why? Because we've already created it. We've already decreed it. And God already arranged and aligned the stars to show us that culmination point. So, hold the love. Keep it strong. And keep it creative. Have fun with this. Enjoy it. Share the bliss when you can, even if it's from a distance, and even if it's anonymously. You know, if you see somebody who's, say, struggling crossing the street, normally we'd offer to help or whatever. You know, and now everybody's like social distancing. You can only help the person up as long as you're 6 feet away or 10 feet away or whatever. It's like, whatever, that'll all get corrected, don't worry. Humanity loves humanity too much to ever stop being lovable, cuddly, fuzzy little warm bunnies. But the point of what I was saying was, offer them a dispensation of grace. Go in your mind, find that still point, find that God at the nothingness, and say, hey God, can we give that person a hug? Not me, the physical ego. You, the God source, can you give them a hug? Give them a little boost of extra strength. even if they don't know where it comes from. You know, let them sleep extra deliciously tonight. And I tell you what, I'll sacrifice myself if I'll give up my peaceful night's sleep and sleep restlessly or cold or whatever inconvenience I might have to suffer in order to pay back the karmic energy ahead of time, so that that other person who seems homeless can actually like fall asleep and have a dream of bliss and warmth and love and hope of a better tomorrow. Oh, I just fell in a pothole. Luckily I didn't fall too deep. I caught myself. Okay, so you get the point though, right? That's what a dispensation of grace is from God. Is you literally are at the head of God, running through your mind, and from unconditional love you offer yourself as sacrifice if need be, but you're not a martyr, so you don't have to die over this, right? You just a little bit inconvenienced for the moment, but think of the joy that that other person's going to have when they wake up from this magical dream that you offered them. And you don't have to offer them in person out loud. God works through every particle of everything, right? So you just have to be in that state of knowing God's in you as you being you, and you're being the ego self walking around so that God has some place to land, so that he can look out anonymously through your eyes and wink and say, yeah, I like your idea. Cool. Okay. Right? And then in the middle of the night, you're going to wake up all restless and crazy and having these crazy dreams. But immediately you're going to see the isolated, quarantine, cubbyhole house that you've already got yourself snuggly nooked into and be like, oh yeah, I forgot we gave that guy a dream. Cool. Okay, so then you can roll over and go back to sleep and, offer the guy a blessing again from a distance. You don't know where he's at this point. This is hours later, middle of the night, right? But that other guy is having a blissful dream, and it's real because you got woken up when he should have instead, right? So you just helped him anonymously without even knowing who he is or where he is. All you had to do is know that you're God. Oh yeah, and so is he. He doesn't even have to be told. Now what I'm interested curiously is how many homeless people are walking around homeless because they keep dispensationing all of their bliss out to other people. But that's a different story. Where are we at? Love for everybody, all of your fellow mankind and womankind, all of the children, and no more screwing with the programming minds of those who are coming up after us. Why? Because we don't want to live in a crazy, insane world that they create, nor do we want to create a crazy, insane world to have to give them, right? That's how we got into this whole mess in the first place. So, love everybody. Forgive everybody. Start with yourself. It's a whole lot easier to love others if you've already loved yourself. It's easier to forgive others if you've already forgiven yourself. And if you need to go to the worst of it, then namaste. I forgive you for that, no matter how bad it is. Because I know what it's like to be a human. I know what it's like to be a human intoxicated on life, getting drunk on bliss, and having demonic spirits jump inside you and start trying to run and control your life in secret because they're hiding in your shadows. And you didn't know they got there, or I didn't know they got there because the night before I got too drunk and blacked out, and who knows, or whatever it might be, right? We've all done things in our life and looked back immediately after and went, what the heck? What was going on there, right? How many times have we done something like that and we didn't even realize what we were doing until afterwards? Why? Because most people aren't in constant check with their brain and their mind and their body to go, hey, you're doing something that I would not approve of, and as the Godhead of this body, this vessel, I'm in charge. How come nobody ran that by me? I didn't give you permission to go off and ballistically react and hit that other person, right? But yet we do. We get all in a tizzy and then go off on somebody and whack. Shit hits the fan. Awareness of who you are and awareness of you being in control. You're the Godhead in your head. You're the Godhead in your body. You're the one that is enslaved to your soul, which is why you, as the general manager of the vessel or the captain of the ship, have no problem taking commands from above, because you already know it's your higher self that's up there issuing you the commands as the general per se, right? And so then you enjoy the fruits of that labor, because every cell particle in your body knows, oh, you, the one that's in charge, the Godhead of your vessel, the one that's ultimately going to take the responsibility or the heat for your actions and your thoughts and your words and your energy vibrations and all of that. You're in service to the greater good of all. And so every cell in your body is now in service to you. So they're in service to you and the greater good of all. Right? They got twice as much job. Trying to picture all the little bacteria in my gut going, oh, yes, sir, okay. We will digest that thing you just shoved down your gullet. Right? Because you weren't paying attention and you grabbed a donut. Or whatever. I'm just metaphorically talking. But I get all excited when I get out in nature, and it's just like feeling the buzz of, it's not even the buzz of people anymore in society. It's just so cool. But it's twice as loud because it's the buzz of nature, right? I can hear all the birds and I can feel the grass, even though I gotta find the spots that don't have snow because I'm so far up here in the mountains. But so be there as the strength for others. And go every night with bliss to sleep, knowing you'll touch that darkness and God will find you and you two will dance in the stillness of the nothingness and infinite intelligence for as long as you like, because there's no time out there. And then when you're ready and it's fully time and it's all divine time and correct, God will put you right back into this vessel, totally rested, perfectly great and good to go. No fog or din of confusion or crazy chaos of hangover or anything. And you're fully rested because you actually took the time to hang out with God while you were sleeping instead of just checking out until tomorrow. Eventually, we all start to find out that this awake beingness of a human is God's dreaming time. And God's got pretty high standards. Bliss. Okay, love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon.